Hello, Amusement Park Portal. We have some breaking news from Six Flags regarding the Peanuts IP that was set to expire at the end of the season. Well, it looks like at the last minute they extended the contract for 5 years. So this will put to bed all the rumors that Snoopy is leaving Six Flags / Cedar Fair real soon and going to be replaced by Bugs Bunny and DC. So let's take a look at the press release. Alright, the press release that was released today basically comes out and says that the contract has been extended through 2030. It also goes on to say that the new agreement extends Six Flags' positions as the exclusive amusement park partner for Peanuts in North America. The agreement also includes in-park entertainment and sports, food and beverage, retail operations, and exclusive Peanuts merchandise through December 31st, 2030, ensuring that millions of park guests at Knott's Berry Farms, Carowinds, Cedar Point, Kings Island, Kings Dominion, Dorney Park, Canada's Wonderland, blah blah blah, all the parks will continue to experience and connect with the iconic Peanuts characters. It also goes on to say, we are proud to extend our long-standing partnership with Peanuts, which has delivered so many fun and cherished memories to our guests, said Christian, if I'm going to butcher this name, Diekman, Six Flags Chief Commercial Officer. Both of our brands are built on bringing families together and creating one-of-a-kind experiences and emotional connections. The renewed relationships between Six Flags and Peanuts worldwide will enable both companies to enhance and extend their brands through themed areas, live entertainment, merchandise, and games. Then it continues on and says, it's been exciting to see how the legacy Cedar Fair parks have introduced our beloved Peanuts characters to new generations of kids over the years, and this renewed partnership with Six Flags will ensure we expand those connections in authentic and meaningful ways, said Tim Erickson, Executive Vice President for Peanuts Worldwide. And it finishes off and says, the company's collaboration with Peanuts dates back to the early 80s when Knott's Berry Farm in Southern California opened the first Camp Snoopy. Since then, the legacy Cedar Fair parks have made significant investments to introduce Charlie Brown, Snoopy, and the rest of the Peanuts gang of all ages. Earlier this year, Carowinds unveiled 2 new family-friendly attractions in Camp Snoopy as part of the largest investment in family attractions in the park's history. A new launch coaster and an interactive raft ride. Those additions, alongside with the splash play zones and meet and greet experiences with Peanuts costume characters, offer more spots for families to cool off and interact with Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and the entire Peanuts gang. In addition, the park introduced Camp Snoopy Birdwatchers Club, featuring augmented reality AR based games for the whole family. And finally, last year, Kings Island expanded its award-winning kids area with the addition of new adventure play space, Camp Snoopy, featuring the park's newest roller coaster, Snoopy's Soapbox Racers. Also debuting last year was Beagle Scout Acres, a shaded nature-themed play area where kids and their families are able to explore and play on their own turfed mounds and grassy fields filled with camping equipment. So there you have it. That's the press release that was released this morning. So this also brings up a lot more questions that we'd like to have answers to. One question that comes to my mind, at least, is will Peanuts make their way into legacy Six Flags parks? Or will Looney Tunes and DC characters still make their way into legacy Cedar Fair parks? Now, since they are keeping the Peanuts, personally, I'd like to see them all integrated into every park. Now, I'm not even going to pretend to know all the details of the contracts that are in place with DC, Looney Tunes, and Peanuts now. But is it even possible to combine all the IPs at one park, or is that part of the contract where they have to be the exclusive IP for those parks? If that's the case, we're not going to see any changes. Everything is going to stay as is. But it would be nice to see some integration, personally. Now, I'm not saying we got to retheme every single ride in the park to a DC or a Looney Tunes or whatever, but I'd like to see a couple sprinkled in here and there to make it a little more interesting. An example would be like at Cedar Point. They have 2 children's areas, both of them are themed to Peanuts. Now wouldn't it make sense to theme one to Peanuts and maybe the other to Looney Tunes? To give it a little bit of variety. In addition to that, retheming an entire area at a park, one that comes to mind is the old Action Zone at Kings Island. This would make a perfect area for a small DC themed area, where you could theme the rides to like Batman, Wonder Woman, whatever you want, and just keep it, contained to that one area of the park. And by bringing in some of the DC or Looney Tune theming, that also opens the door to merchandising. Now currently the parks make a lot of money off of merchandise, especially the IP-based merchandise like DC, Looney Tunes, and Peanuts. And by introducing new IPs into the theme parks, this opens the door for many more merchandising opportunities for the parks. Not only could you introduce DC and Looney Tunes into some of the legacy Cedar Fair parks where it fits appropriately, but you could also introduce Peanuts into some of the legacy Six Flags parks as well. Now again, this all goes back to the contracts and whether or not they're actually allowed to without renegotiating the current contracts they have in place. And to finish up, I just gotta say I am actually kind of surprised by this extension. With the current financial issues that the park chain is, going through right now, I'm kind of surprised that they'd actually want to make a deal and extend an IP, when they already have several IPs already in their pocket that they could use. Now, I can't confirm this 100%, but I'm being told that the Peanuts IP cost them an additional, a little over $4 million per year to obtain the IP. So that's a lot of money. Even over 5 years, that's $20 million right there. And they have that $1 billion bond coming up in a few years here. So I'm a little confused by this move. But I have no inside information of how much money they actually make off these IPs on merchandising and all that. So I'm not going to pretend to tell you that they don't make any money or they're losing money on an IP. I just don't know. I'm just looking at what the cost is to retain the IP in the parks. So with all that being said, I want to know what you think. Do you like this new extension of the Peanuts IP? Or are you disappointed and would like to see the Looney Tunes and DC make their way into the Cedar Fair Legacy Parks? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, I want to thank everybody for watching our videos. It really does mean a lot to us. We are growing, we get new subscribers every day, and we really do appreciate it, and we thank you all. So that's it for this video, and we hope to see you out on the midways real soon. Take care, everyone.